What's going on, everybody? We're back with more AEW, and this time it is for the Women's Tag Team Cup Tournament, the Deadly Draw, Night 1, the quarterfinals, for August 3rd, 2020. And it was quite the action-packed episode for the women. And we had a lot of debuts and quite a bit of surprises, even surprise finishes. Who'd have thought? And this was all on AEW's YouTube channel. Overall, before we get into it, I thought it was a good show. Showed off a lot of the personalities of the women involved. Just about everyone got mic time. Got some promos shot, backstage segments, etc. Good stuff. You even had some legends and some unexpected folks. The show then kicked off with Veda Scott and Tony Schiavone on commentary. And Veda was a very big surprise. Who'd have thought she'd be on the show? She did great in her role. She was on commentary for the whole night. She did a good job along with Schiavone. Who'd have thought they'd be a nice pairing? I actually hope AEW brings her back even after this tournament's over. I'm sure they can find a role for Miss Veda Scott, whom works on the independents as a wrestler, and she can do commentary as well. I heard she did it for Ring of Honor. And going off what I heard this night, it was good. She did good commentary. She sounded natural, and it sounds like her and Schiavone has been doing this since forever. They just gelled nicely, and it worked. Veda says that it's a huge night for women's wrestling. It feels like a big deal, and she's ready for it. Then we went to the ring, and the special ring announcer was none other than Saul Guerrero, a.k.a. Eddie Guerrero and Vicky's daughter. That was a nice touch. Then she welcomes Medusa. She came out to the entrance ramp, and she was standing right next to the trophy cup that the winner of this whole tournament will be awarded. And she looked nice. Medusa then presented us with the cup. She said, it's an honor to introduce us to the first AEW Women's Tag Cup tourney, the Deadly Draw. What makes a champ rise above and show the world what they're made of, who will step up, who will become allies. Can they work together? This is AEW. And that's all she said as she flipped her hair, turned around, and headed right back down through the tunnels backstage. Then we were thrown backstage to both Allie, Brandy, and Dasha Gonzalez, who was interviewing both Brandy and Allie. Brandy says she was disappointed because she has to choose her own colors, her own poker chip color, and may not be partners with Allie, which is surprising because based on what we've seen on Dark, etc., it seemed like she was not very keen on teaming with Allie, but she seemed to not want to get lost in the random shuffle. But to her dismay, as she was talking to Dasha, Allie reached into this bin that had the chips, and she pulled out the exact same color that Brandy did, which is red, I think. And she pretty much cheated to get her chip color to match Brandy's, so they stayed a team. The Nightmare Sisters were a team, of course, to the surprise of no one. They were then ecstatic about the pick. They both were screaming tears of joy. They were both happy and stormed off to leave Dasha by herself. After that, we then went to Penelope and Kip as they spoke to Dasha. chose their color. Well, Penelope chose, and it happened to be baby blue. And it then turns out that Mel also had the same color, blue. And she asked Penelope, ready to kick some ass? And Penelope, of course, obliged. And as they walked away, Kip says, "Thanks, Diana, and have a great day." Nice touch. He purposely got Dasta's name wrong. A nice comedy element there. And that is the match that kicked off next. We had Mel. She made her entrance first. Then Penelope made her entrance, accompanied by Kip Sabian. And then the Nightmare Sisters came out afterwards, accompanied by both QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes. The match starts off with Penelope and Allie in a headlock. They both issued headlocks. Allie then showboats, and Penelope went for a roll-up while Allie was doing all the showboating for a quick 2 count, I believe. Allie then knee strikes forward, tags out to Brandy, and then Mel tags herself in. She attacks Brandy. It was noted on commentary that Brandy is responsible for Mel's hair loss, and I'm surprised they mentioned this, keeping up the continuity that Mel and Brandy used to be a part of the Nightmare Collective earlier in the year, which is now defunct because most people were not feeling that group. So did Mel cut her hair for nothing? Who knows? Because it was also noted that Veda Scott, via commentary, said that she hasn't grown her hair back, so maybe it's a positive. Maybe she got a good little style, nice little look out of this. Who knows? Mel later gets a bit dominated / isolated by the Nightmare Sisters. And it was also noted that Allie is the more experienced wrestler out of everyone involved in this match. Mel later tags in Ford. Kip Sabian then saves Ford from Allie. Allie steps outside the ring as a result of this. Then she got into Kip's face on the outside. Then QT steps up to Kip. In the conundrum, Allie then gets taken out with a Mel big boot out of nowhere. She gets kicked in the face by Mel. Gets knocked down. Penelope then isolated Allie for a bit with a choke in the ropes via her boots. This is while they were in the ring after the stuff that happened on the outside. Mel then gets heel heat on Allie. Later tags in Penelope. Ford then shows a bit of frustration after a 2 count to Allie. Later, Mel goes to the top rope for a leg drop and pays for it with a miss. She landed straight on her keister. Brandy later gets fired up with a super kick to Mel. And then Mel later hits a choke bomb to Brandy and she had a 3 count, but the ref was distracted via Allie. Allie was on the outside of the ring, and behind the ref's back, Mel hits this choke bomb move, and she got the 3 count, but the ref was too busy focusing on Allie when he should have been focusing on what was going on in the ring. So, in theory, Mel won this match for the team, but that didn't happen. But what did happen was Kip was irate on the outside and took out QT Marshall as a result with a right hook, right hand, because his team had a 3 count fall, but the ref was distracted. So he took it out on QT. At this point, I also noticed that the Deadly Draw was trending number 2 on Twitter. It's a pretty big deal for this being a YouTube show. Good stuff. It was then later trending number 1 by the time it was all over, in the U.S. at least. Then, after all of that shenanigans, Mel's eyes were raked, and Brandy capitalized with a spear to Mel, and the Nightmare Sisters advanced after the 1, 2, 3. Brandy got the pin, the Nightmare Sisters got the win, and they move on in the tournament. Who they will face, we have no clue. Not yet. The match, I thought it was all right. It could have been better. It's a bit sloppy in parts, but I've seen noticed improvements in Mel and Brandy. Despite what the naysayers say, I believe Brandy has shown a lot of improvements since her time in AEW last year in her Fight for the Fallen match against Allie. Marked improvements. Only folks that don't see that are the ones who don't follow AEW. Mel also looked good in this match. She had a few matches on Dark the past few months, and this is the best she's looked since she stepped foot in AEW, in my opinion. She looked fierce, rough, rugged, and she looked like a powerhouse, as she should, since she is a bigger woman. Overall, I give the match a B-. After this, a recap of the segment with Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero finding out whom their tag team partner would be in this match, which was Ariane Andrew via the purple color. And after this, Dasha then had Anna J on standby for a word. Anna stated, "Let's get this over with," as she drew the color black, the black poker chip. Tay Conti then walked into the shot. By the way, Tay Conti, also known as Tanera Conti of NXT fame, she walked into the shot. She also had a black chip in her hand, and she said, "Good for you. I guess we're now teaming. I guess we're teaming up." And guess what? Next was that matchup. Anna J and Tay Conti versus Nyla Rose and Ariane Andrew. Tay Conti made her entrance first as she glanced at the cup on her way to the ring. It was also noticed that she is accomplished in combat sports and has only been in the business for 3 years. Then Anna J, wearing a mask, makes her entrance with the Dark Order. All of the Dark Order. This gets across her involvements with the Dark Order and confirms that she is officially a member. And this also says to me that she is getting a push, because if you're in the Dark Order, they're there to make you look good. They're there to help get you off your feet. And they wouldn't put Anna J in this group if they didn't see anything in her, because they are like the second most pushed group in AEW after the Elite and after the Inner Circle, I guess. So maybe they're the third most pushed group in AEW. During her entrance, it was noted that it was our first time seeing her in a match since being affiliated with the Dark Order. It was her first official match as a member. She then took off her mask as she entered the ring. So this means that she will not be wearing a mask all the time, which is good. You don't want to cover up her face like Anna J's. She just looks too good for that. And they got to have her on camera as much as possible, so her face does not get covered, which is good, in my opinion. Next up, making her entrance was Ariane Andrew of WWE fame, of the Funkadactyls. It was noted that she trains all the time, even though she hasn't been competing as much as others in the match. Then after her was Nyla Rose. She made her entrance with Vicky. It was noted that Nyla wasn't happy about teaming with Ariane. I guess Nyla felt like she'd have to do most of the work. Well, I'm not sure if that was the case or not, but we'll get into it. The match kicks off. Ariane offers a handshake to Anna J, but Anna J slaps her hand out the way. Feeling offended, Ariane then follows with a slap to the face, and then they both lock it up. Nyla then refused to tag in Ariane. Then Anna went for a roll-up for a 2 count. Tay and Jay double-teamed Ariane a bit. Nyla then comes in for the double choke slam to both Tay and Jay. Tay then delivered some stiff kicks to Nyla, and I like this spot, especially that last kick she did to Nyla to the face. That looked intense. It looked real, and I like to see intensity in these women's matches, so that gets a clap for me. Jay then tags in, runs the ropes, and Nyla later picks up and slams Jay for a 2 count. Jay then receives a lariat via Rose, and she tags out to Ariane, whom later delivers a splash to Jay in the corner for multiple 1 counts. I presume this was out of frustration. Ariane then tags out to Nyla again. Jay later wears down Nyla's left leg. This is where they started. This is where Tay and Jay started to work on Nyla's legs, particularly her left one, to slow her down. This takes the biggest woman out of the match in the process. She then tags out to Conti, whom still works on Nyla's leg. She then tags Jay back in, and Jay continues working over Nyla's leg. Jay then tags back in Conti after some more work. Ariane gets the hot tag eventually from Rose and gets some offense in on Conti. Also, note that at this point, I like the ring psychology that they were going for by targeting Nyla Rose's leg. That slows her down. It renders her inadequate, and it kind of protects her. So if she lost the match, which she did, if she lost the match, then that can be put on. It can be blamed that. It could be said that she only lost because she wasn't at 100%. This could play a factor down the line via a storyline. So they're building up multiple storylines throughout the night with this, in my opinion. We'll see where they go. But that's what I'm hoping for. I see storylines that could be used in the future here. But back to the match, Ariane gets the hot tag from Rose and gets some offense in on Conti again. Jay and Tay go for a double team suplex, but Nyla stops it and double clothesline both Annna Jay and Tay Conti, all while limping due to her left leg being completely rendered useless in this match. Ariane later goes for a split pin on Conti, but Jay rolls in out of nowhere for a neck breaker from behind to Andrew. Then Jay gets the pin on Ariane, and they advance in the match. This was shocking because no one thought that Annna Jay and Tanara or Tay Conti would be winning this match. I didn't, because Nyla was with Vicky, and they just started working together. So I figured AEW wouldn't give Nyla a loss because she just started working with Vicky as her manager. Just started having her as her manager. So I was putting 2 and 2 together, but I guess we were wrong because they gave the win to Jay and Tay. And with this is Jay's first ever win in AEW. And Tanara, or Tay Conti, also got her first win on her debut in the company. This is good for both. And I believe both will go far. Both Annna Jay and Tay Conti will go far in this tournament because they're getting a push, I believe. They're going to get a push. And this is the start. I don't think Brandy and Allie are going to win this because Brandy is starting to get a big head. She's starting to let success get to her. And this, I think, will cause a split between both Allie and Brandy. And this will, in turn, open up the tournament to a fresher team to win and get them more over in the process by winning this cup. And I have a feeling that it will be Tanara or Tay Conti and Annna Jay. But we just got to wait and see. But we'll find out a bit what I mean now, post-match. Post-match, Nyla gets back in the ring, flips off and knocks out Ariane with a clothesline, and then rolls out of the ring after Vicky lets out her evil laugh. So Nyla got her heat back. She beat down an already battered Ariane Andrew with a vicious clothesline, and she just leaves. After that, Brandy went in on Allie, stating that tonight is the first night she realizes that she's a star. She realized she's a huge deal. Allie then butts in and believes that she did well out there as well. Brandy also states that she's the first that has an action figure, over 800,000 followers on Instagram, all in comparison to Allie's accomplishments. Success is getting to her head. I believe. So this is what I think is going to facilitate in the breakup or rift between Allie and Brandy going forward. We'll see what happens, though. After this, Alex Marvez was interviewing both Annna Jay and Tay Conti backstage. Conti says that they are the prettiest and most dangerous in the tournament. Jay then says, let's talk about the tournament now. After this, Marvez then closes it with, they're moving on. Back to you. This was getting over the fact that Jay and Conti are both no-nonsense females. They look good. They know they look good, but they can also beat you. That's the goal. That was the message AEW is getting across to the audience, I believe. They look good, but this pretty face can still beat you up. And that was the end of the tag tournament night 1. Overall, I thought it was good. It was a good night 1, and it's doing numbers on YouTube. It just premiered last night. I'm recording this on the 4th of August. And as of right now, the video has 360,547 views, which is pretty good for a video that's been up only a day, 21 hours. That's pretty good. It's doing numbers. So AEW has stated that if this does good, this whole tournament does well, they'll make it annual. They'll do it every year. So we'll see what happens as it moves on. But the first night was solid. Good stuff. You got 2 women coming out of this looking like stars, and that is Annna Jay and Tay Conti. I've seen nothing but praise for the work that they put in. And both have a major shot at becoming stars and actually winning this tournament. We shall see. I think they're going to go far. I wouldn't be surprised if they win, though. Also, I hope that when this is all said and done, that AEW brings back Veda Scott. I liked her commentary all night. She was good. And maybe they'll do something with Medusa. Maybe get her in a manager role at some point. Or maybe we'll see... I'm not sure we'll see more of the daughter, Vicky's daughter, Saul. It was also nice that she announced Vicky as well, as Vicky Guerrero. She announced her mom as her full name. Good stuff. But overall, as I said before, good show. Looking forward to next week to see who the next 8 women are going to be. We got 4 more teams. So 8 more women. Maybe we get more new faces. But thanks for watching / listening, and I will catch you with the next review, which is most likely going to be AEW Dark, which premieres tonight on AEW's YouTube channel. Catch ya then.